wrote it, because this is not like a huge thing or something. It's called Supermax. It was before this whole era of superhero movies. It was an entirely Green Arrow-centric screenplay idea, where he is falsely accused of a crime and goes to Supermax, where all of DC's supervillains are kept in lockup. And so he has to find a way to break out of Supermax and clear his name. And in order to do so, he has to make tentative alliances and stuff like that with all these villains that him and other DC heroes have put away. And it was a very interesting idea for a story. And it's so weird. Green Arrow, of all people, before like the dawn of superhero, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to say that that's what they're going into now, but I know they do have him in prison.
Right,
Yes.
but from the trailer,
that's
and
why
he
I brought
meets
it up.
a lot of the villains.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they might be borrowing a bit of that,
Right.
which could be something interesting to do.
Let's talk about Batgirl. If you don't know, they released it's not a trailer as much as it is a spot that talks about, it shows that Batgirl will be joining in the December crossover event.
Yes.
Coming in. What do you think this implies for the Arrowverse as a whole? Do you think we're going to get a Batgirl TV show?
David, let's start with you. You're awful quiet on this, so.
Well, I'm awfully quiet because I actually don't watch the Arrowverse.
Wow.
Because he's not actually a
All
fan.
right, then never mind.
No, what killed it for me is that the Arrowverse isn't canon with their movies. I don't
true.
and I don't watch a lot of TV as it is. I really don't.
That's true. Yeah.
I got into Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it was canon to it, and
Sure.
I'm not really interested anymore. It ran its course, I thought, after 3 seasons.
Sure.
I like the Marvel Netflix stuff that Marvel puts out. Again, I like it because I think they have good characters, and like especially Daredevil and
Yes.
Punisher. But it's also canon, whatever. But I've always had a hard time wanting to watch it because I'm like, it's not canon. It doesn't. I can enjoy it for what it is, but I don't have a lot of time to just watch shows, so I just don't.
You need to make time.
Yeah.
I need to make
Stop
time.
working so much and sit on your butt.
Yeah. No, I've just never. I've seen episodes and I think they're interesting, but I never cared enough to go back and watch 6 seasons of Arrow.
That's true. Well, the thing for me is I feel like sometimes TV shows run the problem of cycling the same arc.
Again,
And I feel like Arrow's done that. Like,
Yes.
he's falling into the darkness again. He's falling into the darkness again. He's falling into the darkness again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So stuff like that. And I think you can tell when they start a series. Like, for me, the first 2 seasons of Arrow were great. I think the first season of Arrow, they ended superbly. They followed up with Deathstroke and a great villain arc.
Oh, yeah.
And then same thing with The Flash. First season ending, spectacular
Yep.
ending to the season.
Yep.
Second season I thought had a good ending and all that stuff too. And then I think they kind of struggled to make relevant character arcs after that. And it's not that they don't do it sometimes, because they have moments where they dip and they go up and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like they run that risk, and some of the Arrowverse has fallen into that, because I loved all the earlier stuff, but then after like first few seasons of Arrow I lost interest. Flash, I liked it. I really liked the show, but I'm not that tempted
But does
to really
the
watch it.
inclusion of Batgirl, which by proxy means that there is a Batman,
There's a Batman, yes.
in this universe, and Gotham has been mentioned before in the different series.
Huge.
Does that draw your interest enough to go, maybe I'm not going to go back and watch 6 seasons worth of things, but
Yeah.
I'll tune in to actually see that. Does that actually pique your interest enough, or is it
No.
just kind of like, yeah? So you say no. The ghost is back.
Hi, Jim. No, it doesn't. If I heard of Batman, I might be really interested to come check that out. But,
True.
I'd also be disappointed that we're getting Batman in a show, but not Batman in a movie yet. For the DC
I think
universe,
the things for you to check out would be the crossover events.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Arrow and Flash and Supergirl.
Oh, and Legends of Tomorrow.
Well,
Don't
forget
talk
I'm not
about
even going to
that.
go into Legends of Tomorrow because that's
It sucks.
That's the bastard child of the DC. Bleh. But you know what? It was good in the very beginning. It lost me towards the middle of season 1 and never came back because they switched out major key components out of the first season. And when they switched stars, and then they tried to get people's attention for like the of tomorrow. It just angers me because they have so much potential for that whole series, which they've blown out of proportion.
I'm angry that they killed the Reverse Flash on that show.
Yes!
You wasted the Reverse Flash on Legends of Tomorrow?
No,
Sorry.
he was already in the one.
Oh,
He ran his course in 2 different seasons.
Yeah.
Is that a
of-
pun intended?
I don't even know.
I just think Reverse Flash is one of those villains. He can keep coming back. But
Well,
now
yes, he
can't.
can because he can travel in time.
Well, no, yeah.
but
We saw
here's
what
the
happened
point.
to him.
Here's the point that I want to make. You know what? In these crossover events, you want to make Stephen Amell your type of Rodney Dangerfield, your RDJ.
Yeah.
Like, you want to
He
make
needs
him
to be the leader.
He needs to be the pivot man, because not only is your show on the decline, but you're a good enough actor to meld everything together.
Yes.
And
Also, the idea that if he does not have powers, he has to have something to bring to the team.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like Supergirl, the Flash, they bring something to the team with their powers. Green Arrow,
I could shoot things with my arrow and
yeah.
Listen, he's really accurate, and he doesn't need a false implant
Hey.
to be as accurate as he is, like Hawkeye does.
He does amazing parkour.
Yeah, he does. The best parkour in the series.
but like that is his thing though. He has to rise up to that leader role.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Well, he does.
He does.
He does.
He does really, really well. If you guys haven't seen the crossover series, definitely go check it out.
There's one every year.
There's one every year.
That
Yeah.
that it hasn't been just Arrow.
Yes.
Yes. It's
So-
on all of them.
What do you guys think of the new DC Universe streaming service they're launching? With supposedly it's coming with a lot of animated stuff. What that's going to include, I don't know. I don't know if it's their old TV shows.
Yeah.
Supposedly, they've announced Swamp Thing for it.
Yeah.
They released a trailer for Titans, which is going to be watching along with
Titans is going to stream with it. They also have the Black Bounty, I think it's called. Or
Something.
The Black something. Black something. I
it.
don't
And
know.
I
I'm
think
not
it's
familiar.
supposed to include
Yeah.
some of their movies. I
It's
just
a
saw.
bad idea.
I
It's
just
what-
saw an
in
ad
the
on my
words-
Facebook that I get to ticket to see Aquaman or something
Yeah.
if I pre-order this.
Yeah.
In the words of Ian Malcolm in The Lost World, this is one of the worst ideas in a long, sad history of bad ideas.
I was telling Ian, they needed to make a deal with, in my opinion, Hulu.
Yes.
Because Marvel already has
they
Netflix.
needed a Netflix,
so
they needed a Hulu.
I think they needed
needed
to make their
something.
deal with Hulu to allow their movies and allow their TV shows
Yeah.
and their newer ones that they're making onto Hulu.
Yes.
And maybe they tried and the money wasn't right for something. I don't know. But to make their own streaming service, even though it's only $70 a year, I believe, right? 70,
Which is actually cheaper than Netflix.
Yeah.
Right, it is. But you don't have a track record of being good enough
Yes.
to make your own streaming
Yes.
service.
Well,
You
the
just
other thing-
don't.
It's not like Disney. Disney's launching their streaming service, but they have all their animated classics.
Yes.
They have Marvel. They have Star Wars.
Well,
they can put all
oh,
that out
sure.
there, and you'll go watch it.
Disney has their properties, and I'm pretty sure once they launch and the contracts expire for their Netflix things, they can
Everything's
bring that
going
back
from
over-
Netflix
next
onto
to Disney.
their own.
Sure.
And then Netflix, they have the advantage of having more than just all this stuff. They've got their original stuff, they've got their Marvel stuff, they've got all sorts of other things.
Yep.
So there's a bunch of stuff to attract people. If DC is just making this just DC, it's only going to attract hardcore DC fans. And
Although
I'm sorry, I'm a comic book fan, and that Titans trailer makes me not want to buy this.
Oh, gosh.
That was an atrocious trailer.
I think we should talk
Probably-
about it. Let's
probably the
air,
worst one.
Let's air the elephant in the room.
The worst trailer, in my opinion. When your director, whoever it was, says that their crowning moment is Robin saying F Batman,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's not a crowning moment for anything.
That tells me
You
it's a really bad
obviously
show.
suck. If your crowning moment is F Batman, okay, you must be an incredible writer, director, and producer.
Like, I was telling you, it looks like a crappy version of Runaways or Cloak and Dagger, which are not good shows in the first
I
place.
haven't even watched Cloak and Dagger yet. But there are
couldn't
some
even-
people who have said it's one of the best series out there.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what kind of crack they're on, but
I've also heard that it's died down as the season has gone on. That it started out good and then went a little bad. And-
yeah.
Well, because I've only seen parts of it, and nothing has
but
intrigued me at all.
with Titans, it just it looks like crap. The trailer does not
does.
look very interesting at all. Like, and how could you? I don't know.
Here's the thing.
I don't know with DC.
Do you think that they've made correct character choices to go on with their Titans movie, with not including Cyborg because he is already in the DC universe?
Here's the thing, though. It's not even canon to any of their other universes. It's not canon to the Arrowverse, which I don't watch it, but I know it's really good.
But they should have made it canon.
Or it's not canon to their movies, which when they've announced they've announced the whole Worlds of DC thing. That's what they're called now. I think it's essentially saying these all exist in their own universes, in their own timelines, except when we want them to.
Yeah,
it's a way of just. It works except for when it doesn't, and when it doesn't work, we can just fix it.
So, like
with
when we release Justice League 4000, they can all cross over together, but they don't really exist in the same timing or universe.
Are you dropping a nugget that none of us knew, that they're making a 4,000th Justice League movie?
You know what? They have
It's
enough
the year
material.
3042. No superhero movie has made more than $10 in 200 years, but they're releasing another one.
But here's the facts. They have enough material to make 10 Justice League movies if they wanted to. Because they have enough content, they have enough people, they have enough superheroes to actually stage probably a good 10 movies.
Just give me a Green Lantern movie that's worth it.
We mentioned.
Who knows? Maybe with Justice League, or not Justice League. I'm sorry, the Green Lantern Corps movie. That might actually do well. But you know what? We didn't see anything about that.
Give me a Red Lantern movie. That's what I actually want.
Wow.
Just some guy running around ticked off with a ring.
Even with Sinestro. Sinestro was a great yellow. He was a great lantern.
Well, the thing we were talking about last week, we briefly mentioned it, is how DC. I don't know if you heard this. DC has all the rights to all their characters.
Yes.
Okay. Marvel is slowly trying to get them back. They're trying desperately to get it back from Fox.
It's been officially confirmed. Comcast has dropped out.
Mm-hmm. That goes back and forth every day, though.
No, they're done. They're done. They're officially
I heard that a
backed
week
out.
ago, but the thing is, Marvel doesn't have it, and they share the rights with Spider-Man, sort of.
Yeah.
It's like borrowing, and you mentioned it's like they got the custody rights on weekends.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said Marvel got the custody. Marvel got visitation rights on the weekends to see Spider-Man.
The thing with DC, and you mentioned it, DC has all their heroes under their rights.
But look, this goes right into it. Ben Wilcox asked this question: why are all these companies able to make so many DC shows and movies? Are all the rights shared? So if DC owns all of their own rights to their heroes, are they just like, you make something? Oh, you want? It's like Microsoft, how they're just like, oh, you want to write something for us? Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
Doesn't matter how bad it is. Go ahead.
I think they're contracting. So what they do
And
is
that makes-
they make the
and that
show
makes
and then
Marvel
they sell
Apple?
it to a network, right?
Yes.
So they're making all this stuff on their own. They own all the characters, and then they sell it to whatever network. In this case, the CW has a lot
So
of
the
it.
CW doesn't actually own the characters; they're just making
Yes.
the shows for them because
Yes.
DC's making money off of it.
Gotcha.
Well, like, for example, Marvel, Netflix, Netflix funds and does all this stuff with the Netflix shows, and Marvel is involved in making them and all that stuff, and then they also make different shows like Cloak and Dagger or something like that, and they sell it to
Which is on Hulu, I believe, right?
no, it's on
Freeform.
Freeform, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is it's still, even though they never cross over, they're still all canon.
Yes,
Right.
they're
In
all
the
in the
same
same
universe.
universe,
Yeah.
and I like how Marvel does it, where they're in the same universe, and the big stuff trickles down.
But
Sometimes.
it's never really.
But
Most of the stuff isn't mentioned.
yes. So like in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when Hydra takes out S.H.I.E.L.D.,
DC could release a massive universe in their movies,
Yeah.
They
and they
could.
just haven't.
They could.
They could. They could have started with their big three, and they could have introduced anyone at that point. If they had done a good Justice League, you could have introduced Shazam, Aquaman. You have all
They
these
could have
characters.
introduced me, and it would have been fine.
But you know what? Is it too late to the party where they're introducing all of these characters?
They had their shot and they lost
and
it.
they had their shot and it's gone.
And
Like
see- and the
you
thing-
already,
And it's
you already
also-
shot your bullet and you missed.
And it's way too soon to reboot. You have to wait 20
Yes,
years to
yeah.
reboot this,
At
and
least.
people are still going to remember how
Now,
bad you
hold
tried.
on, because comic books reboot themselves every 20 minutes. They're just like, wait. We've gotten too weird. Reboot. Here's another origin story for Spider-Man. Uncle Ben's still dead, but
Oh, yeah.
here you go.
Yeah, yeah.
The only person that stays dead in the
I
comics.
don't think the DC has necessarily shot their shot and missed, done with. They have a chance to save certain things.
I think they've dug themselves in a hole, but in order to get out, they have to do much more work than they would have earlier.
Yes.
So
And you're releasing some movies that, if they're really good, maybe you pique people's
Aquaman, in
interest.
my opinion, looked
it does
really
it looks
good.
Yes.
I'm gonna deny this one. I didn't
one?
think it looked that great.
Oh, Aquaman?
Yeah. And the only reason why I'm saying it didn't look too great is that
You don't like Jason Momoa.
No, I love Jason Momoa.
Right.
Momoa.
I think he's a great actor. I think he's too big.
You're jealous of his beefcakiness.
I think he's too big to play Aquaman first.